Hey guys, Third Gen Farmer here, and I'm back. We are in our canola. It is nighttime. We're gonna have a little bit of chill talking while we're combining at night here. And so first off, I want to kind of update everyone. So my combine is going. It was going right at the end last time as well. Yeah, anyways, it's all fixed with that chain and stuff. So far it's been good. And now the canola, it is also pretty ready. And okay, anyways, what I was saying, sorry I had to turn around there, is basically our canola is ready to go. It's actually kind of at the perfect moisture and everything. The straw is pretty easy thrashing. We're going pretty good. We can do upwards of 3.5 to 4 miles an hour in this, which is really good. Compared to the other day, right at the end of the last video, that canola that we were going, that was right after that rain that we had, or soon after the rain that we had, and we were doing like 1.5 miles an hour, and it was struggling, so it did not sound great. But we got that finished off, and yeah, now we're on to this. This is about 5 days later from the last time, so it has dried up more. And this stuff, which was swathed later, this is 50 acres that was planted 5 days later. It was swathed 5 days later, and now it is being combined 5 days later. Mostly coincidentally that it's just 5 days each time, but kind of works out. This is definitely ripe now, and it's enough. The thing with canola is it's got dry for canola is 10% moisture. The canola we're combining right now is between 8.5 to 9% moisture, which basically that just means that if the canola has enough moisture in it, we want to make sure it's dry first off, and that that was big. Anyways, and that it doesn't have green. And the third thing that we would like is that it still has decent moisture, like 8.5 is still decent moisture, because if the canola that we were combining the other day, it was at like 6% moisture, and well, as soon as you take a lot of that water out of the canola, it loses a lot of weight, which we get paid by weight, so we're trying to get it when it's right in that kind of Goldilocks. But and on to our next update. As you can see, huzzah, Dad's got his combine fixed up. I don't know if I mentioned it, but it was a problem with the back sieves. The sieves are the part that shake back and forth like this to help kind of sift the crop from the big straw and chaff. And yeah, so we took it out. There was a broken bolt. There was 2 spots where the welds were broke on it. So we got a new bolt put on it, and then we also got those welds fixed up. Now, we can weld, both of us can weld. However, when it comes to a component in a combine, we like it if we get someone, you know, who knows exactly what they're doing, someone who's taken it and everything. And we know some good people who do welding very well. They're good friends of ours. So we got them to weld up those 2 spots. So now they are welded. Let's hope that they hold. If they don't, it's not like it's necessarily their fault. It's just because there's a lot of vibration like this in the back at very high speeds. A lot of bouncing around, so to speak, right? So it's got to shake all that canola and straw apart. Well, that's what happens with the sieve, is if it bounces around, those welds might break. We'll see. Worst case, we do have to get a new one, which that's going to cost us a lot of money. This welding was much cheaper, but either way, we got his combine going. So far, so good. Now, earlier today, I didn't video it. This was a few hours ago now. We actually had an issue. It was funny enough. We had kind of 2 issues, roughly about the same time. So he did actually notice, but he stopped to help me. So the front of my header here, it plugged up with canola. So it didn't plug in the combine, thankfully. But there must have just been a lot of canola, and there was a little bit of green on the bottom. I think it was kind of because of that. But basically, it kind of plugged in the front of my header here, and my reverser for some reason isn't working, so I'm gonna have to get that checked out. Which basically what that does is exactly what it sounds like. It reverses the rotation of the head to kick all that out. But anyway, so I had to get out. He helped me. We pulling out that straw in the header manually, kind of taking it out. We got it freed. It took 10-15 minutes, but we got it. In the meantime, we noticed on his, we took that back sieve apart and everything and put it back in, but there was a bolt on one of the adjustments that came right out. So we put a new bolt in there, tightened the nut up, so he's good to go now. That was just the one thing that we've seen, so hopefully that bolt stays on there. It's not necessarily crucial, but it does help with keeping our setting in ours, and it's also just another, it was a rod basically that was disconnected and just bounced around. Well, that can cause more wear and damage, so especially if that breaks. So, but played it safe, we got that bolt in there, and yeah, so far we're going. So I'll update you guys as the night's going here. Beautiful night in the Canola. Unfortunately, there's not too much wind. There's a little bit of wind, as you can tell by the flag there. But yeah, we're gonna keep going. All right, so we're still going here. Dad is just over there. Now we're working. He's on the other side of the piece, so that's how small it is. Oh shoot, one sec. There's a big pile here. I would love to show you, speaking of piles, I would love to show you me bringing in a pile and how I kind of deal with it. But it's something that I need 3 hands for, and I only have 2. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. Maybe I need to get like a GoPro on that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I don't think I want. Nah, anyways. But yeah, so things are still going decently. It's not actually too late. Like, it's dark, but it's only 11 o'clock right now. And we're just going. We might get this done, we might not. Our grain cart is full. And then our Mack truck is probably about half full-ish. So this might fit, might not, we'll see. If not, we all hope not. We really do hope not. It doesn't fit, but it is what it is. It'll be interesting to see, because our grain cart is full, and we put a new battery in the scale. I don't know if I mentioned this, but we did put a new battery in for the scale. So now the scale is working on the cart. We have it hooked up to a tablet, which is great. So we're getting a reading on that, but we haven't got a reading when the cart's full yet. And I mean, it's not full of wheat, so it's not going to be as heavy. But it'd be interesting to see how much weight we have on there with canola. Because with that, we can calculate how many bushels we have. Because canola weighs 50 pounds per bushel. I'm not going to get into math, don't worry. But it weighs 50 pounds per bushel. And that's exactly how we get paid. So basically when we bring it to an elevator, for example, we'll weigh ourselves with the truck, trailer, and the product in there first. Then we'll dump out the product. Then they are going to take another weight of us empty. So then they can do subtraction and figure out how much grain we had. Now with that grain, they make it out to be basically every 50 pounds equals 1 bushel. So if we have heavy canola, then we're gaining some basically. But usually it's pretty darn close, because how they go is that 50 pounds a bushel of canola is figured on your average canola that's dry, exactly at 10% moisture, should weigh 50 pounds. Usually, like your average typical canola. Now this is a little bit drier, so it's gonna weigh a little bit less. So we kind of get the pour into the stick there. We actually might have more bushels, because bushel is an area technically, right? I don't know if it's like a foot cubed or whatever it is. I'll have to check actually for that. But basically it's an area like that. But if we weigh less, they'll basically, instead of taking area, they do it by weight, so then we get paid less. But on the other hand, if we were to have, it's kind of a interesting system, because if we were to have like canola that's 12%, it would weigh more than 50 pounds a bushel. So theoretically we get paid more, because they're paying each 50 pounds to a bushel. But let's say we have 55, our canola actually weighs more, you know? So we get paid more. However, then that's when they get to their deductions of dryer costs, in order to dry that grain down, even if they don't dry it, they'll still put that on. Dockage, which is how clean our grain is, we get marked off. So there's all these percentages, because what the elevator usually is trying to do is they want to give you a price only for your grain, right? They don't want to pay for that straw that's in there. They don't want to pay for any extra. They just want to pay for dry grain, which sometimes, most of the time, actually doesn't end up working out in the farmer's favor, unfortunately. But we have to sell our crop to someone, and the only people is them, basically. And we obviously want our product out to you guys, so you guys can consume your food at a reasonable price as well. And it's just kind of how the supply chain and everything works, right? It's, in a way, it seems backwards, because we actually get a less price than them. Like, they'll sell it for even more, but it's kind of how it works in farming, and how it's worked for the last kind of 20-ish years. Before that, we used to do something called producer cars, which all this grain will get shipped in trains, and then those trains, a lot of them will go to the coast, where it'll get dumped in like a big ship or something, the big kind of container type thing, basically. And anyway, but what we used to do is, instead of having us bring the grain to an elevator, which will then handle the grain, pay us, and then they'll sell it and put it into rail cars and sell it off that way, we used to sell it directly. So we used to just kind of skip the elevator part, and we just sell it directly, and load right into the cars, kind of thing. We don't do that anymore. I think it's been about 15 years since we did that last, so we did used to make technically more money with that, but yeah, it's all a system. It's all a system. Don't get me wrong. Everyone's got a job. Everyone, like, it's not their fault necessarily. It's just how the business and everything works. So, well, there's no swath that way. There's no swath that way. That means this is our last swath. Heck yeah. So, we got through this. This is our last swath of canola. In our last field, everything. This is our very last one for the season. Our last crop for the season as well. And we're not quite at the end. We still got another half a mile to go yet, probably. But hey, we are just about done. So I got a pretty full hopper on me, because the truck is full, the cart is full. We're pretty much midnight now, honestly. Yeah, not too much later from last time. And yeah, we're finishing in that decent hour. I mean, there's no wind. There hasn't been wind for a few hours now, but that's okay. Like I mentioned earlier with the moisture, so it's not a bad thing necessarily. And yeah, this is definitely a very happy thing. So yeah, outside apparently right now, because Dad's done, so since I have the last swath and finishing up, said it was like 2 degrees outside. So it's that time of year again, even though it's beginning of September here, that time of year where the nights get down close to 0 or 0, maybe a little bit below. But the daytimes are still up to probably around that 16, between 16 and 20 mark, usually around there, but it all depends every day. But it's gonna feel great to have all this done. I'm very, very excited. And yeah, and you may be wondering what next then. If you're done harvest and it's pretty early for harvest, what are you gonna do with all your spare time? Well, in brief, we got a few things to clean up around the farm. We gotta finish tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow. We'll put away these trucks and grain cart. We'll put that in the bin and kind of clean up some of the trucks and stuff. Clean up the combines a little bit. We like to have them clean before going in the shed. I don't know if we'll pressure wash them tomorrow or not. We might leave that for a little bit later. We'll see. And then we got our spraying stuff, because if the fields green up a lot right before winter hits, we like to hit it with a spray. dose of chemicals just to take down basically that chemical seep down into the roots of the crop, because the crop's going into hibernation for the winter. It'll take all of its moisture, including that chemical, down to the roots, kills it off pretty good. At least that's the idea. So we're gonna set up our spraying trailer and stuff like that. There's a swather that we're kind of interested in that came up. It's funny, it's after our swathing, but it'll give us time to get it ready for next year and everything, get used to it. So we're gonna go check it out actually tomorrow, I believe, or one of these next few days. Maybe possibly get a new swather, we'll see. Not new to us, definitely not new. So we'll check that out. We might get it, might not, but stuff like that we gotta do. We gotta do ditching yet. So we're gonna go around with the Lambo. Hopefully I'll have a video on that Lambo with the little tractor as well. And doing ditches all the way around our land. We like to do that, especially when we have more time in the fall, so then it's all done and ready in the springtime so that it can drain nicely. But yeah, that's kind of things that we do. I mean, if you have any other questions on what else we do, I might be able to think of more stuff, or what you guys, let me know how harvest going in your area. If you're in the United States, let me know. I know harvest is definitely different there. In Europe, I'd love to hear kind of how your harvest is going over there. If you're already done, that kind of thing. If it's kind of heard from a few of you guys, like it's kind of a average year in a few areas, you didn't really get good silage and grass and stuff, so that's unfortunate. But let me know how things are now, and if I haven't heard from you, please do let me know in the comments. It's great. I love hearing it, seeing all the different areas, even Australia and stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys are just getting into your planting, but yeah. All right, here it is. The last canola is in. We're done. Harvest 2023 is in the books. Whoop whoop. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna celebrate by putting away everything and then having a nice nap. Considering it's just midnight, this will be great. So when I'm in the field here, I'm just gonna kind of clean up my combine a little bit. And yeah, here, I'll hop out and we'll check it out here. All right, woo! That is brisk. Oh yeah. All right. I'll get out here just to get all this stuff out. And it's not in the yard. You can get it out nice here. Then we don't have to worry about putting it on our nice gravel in the yard and everything. So with all this stuff. But anyways, I'm gonna get after this, and anyways, that's gonna be the end of this video and everything. So thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have yourselves a good one.